All right, guys, this video kicks off the Challenge Garrett series where you guys get to battle me for a prize. This week it's an ST-05 brick, and we can find out if our contestant won or if you get the chance to battle me for this prize next week. What's up, guys? It's Garrett with Talking Cards, and I'm back this week to kick off a new series with you guys, and I think it's going to be pretty fun. A couple of you guys who watch the channel reached out and said, you know, I think it'd be really cool if you did content where we get to interact more in gameplay and go over things, and I thought that was a great idea, and let's do it for a prize on top of that. So this week we're going to kick off the Challenge Garrett series with an ST-05 brick. These are like worth like 50 bucks now, unfortunately, for people who need them. So we're gonna try to get back to the community by getting this in the hands of some lucky winner and a legit winner by beating me. So that'll be the contest. This will work on two kind of ways. There'll be one prize given out every month, and we'll keep going until the prize goes away. So for example, if today's contestant does not win, I'll do another battle next week for the same ST-05 brick. However, if they win today, you know, that means the next prize and the next Challenge Garrett series will start next month. And we'll just keep going until that prize goes. I mean, we could be battling for this for 8 weeks if it takes that long, and then it's a weekly thing. So hopefully that explains it better for you guys, how we're gonna approach this series. And today I got a good matchup for you. I don't wanna spoil who won, so that's why I'm not saying anything, and you'll find out in the end. But today I was trying blue-white tempo. I am testing for Canada. That's really all I care about, is trying to do well at the regional. I've already won a new type challenge and got second at the other one. So it's like when I go to these things, I'm just testing now, and I'm just testing as well in this battle. And if someone beats me for the prize, that's great. Like, I want to get rid of the prize and put it in the hands of you guys. So I was testing blue-white tempo. I think it's a real deck. I think it's a good deck. And our friend here was on some blue-red spice, like an Earth Federation spice deck. It was kind of cool to see. So we'll get into the battle and I'll commentate over it, and hope you guys enjoy. So we'll just start. This is game one of the series, and our friend here, Kujex, is on I don't know what he's on right now, but I'll let you guys know. He's on a Earth Federation red deck, a lot of spice. I never knew what he had because he's playing a rogue deck, and that makes different challenges, you know. It makes me have to think differently because I don't know what he could possibly play. It's harder for me to plan out and map out his turns based on his grave and certain things like that in board, because I don't know what's all in the deck. Whereas if I see people playing like what won in California last week, a green-white build, where I can assume there's no Death Scythe and things like that, it becomes a different thing. So we'll just get into it. Here was the list that I was playing for you guys. I'll give you guys a second to check it out. I don't think it's anything crazy. I think this is pretty close to how blue-white tempo would be played. Not too spicy, just trying to see ratios and see what works well. So we'll get this started here. In the first game, I'm going second. So I am looking for a level 2 cost 1 to play on turn 1, and then to play a Rezel the following turn. You know, I want to put tempo on, I want to be aggressive, and make my opponent have to deal with me essentially while I get to lift things. So you saw the cost 1 unit come down the 2/2 last turn. Now I'm playing the Rezel down, get another 4/3 out here, cost 2, and we are just curving out right now pretty well. But so's our opponent, you know. They have a gem at this point. They have a Rezel. I still don't know what they're on. I mean, that tells me it's looking like a red-blue deck probably. Could also be a blue-white, and they're also on blue-white tempo. But we're going to play down another Rezel here, a gem, and that really just helps us go wide here, and they have to deal with us because we've already gone into the EX base. We've already taken a shield, so we're definitely, you know, putting our foot on the gas and saying, hey, you have to answer what I'm doing. So we'll see here what they do for their turn. They know they have to do something, right, to deal with our board. We have a Sword Strike in hand, a Ale, Gun Tank, and a Striker Pack. I don't know why I blinked on Striker Pack. It's almost like in every deck I play, because I play a lot of white decks, because right now I feel like you're either playing white or blue. and Amuro being the best blue pilot and Kira being the best white pilot, and the whole Kira package that it links with is just so good. So he uses Resil to actually crack my EX base instead of dealing with either the 2-2 or the Resil that is rested. We could see this gym trade into our 2-2 here. We could lose this Demi, and that'd probably be correct, but he could just try to put pressure back on us. This could also be a green-blue player maybe that plays Resil as well. But we see an Anksha in trash from that shield, so it really doesn't give us any more information on what they're playing. And they do take that trade, so we trade a 2-2 into a 2-2. We're going to lose units like that. We're going to hope to play down more and go wide here, because we're hoping to lift something with either the Ale or the Sword Strike to give us that tempo. So we'll see what else they can play here. And they played a close combat. So now my 2-2 gem is gone, and that works. They removed 2 things off the board. They still got to get rid of the EX base. And now I'm just gonna send these Resils into shields because like I said, I wanna put my foot on the gas. I play the Striker pack to try to see if he has another way to deal with it. Like, I know that he's on red now, so he could try to like rest it, ping Battle of Aces or something next turn. But this way I can just blow up my EX resource, play 2 good units this turn, one being a blocker, one being a 4-3, and I can try to like have things happen on my time. That's what's really cool about blue-white tempo, is you also get the blockers while being this kind of aggressive deck, and you can control how board state interactions work due to the blocking. So our opponent's still just with the Resil out, and we're with 2 Resils and that Striker pack 2-4 and the 4-3 Sword Strike. Sword Strike is an interesting card. It's played very heavily right now, and with reason. You know, it's good. There's a lot of things to lift right now. Pairs with Kira, pairs with Hawk. Just a lot of good things Sword can do right now. But one of the worst things about Sword is it feels like a vanilla at times as well. Like right here, I just played it out as a 4-3 vanilla, so pretty much a more expensive Resil. And sometimes that just feels bad. It feels like there's better things you could be doing with that resource and with that spot in your deck. So we see our opponent is also on Banager, I'm sorry. But we lose a Resil and they still have 1 HP left. Thankfully, we have a gun tank in hand. So we can deal with that Resil pretty easily. But the Banager made sense for them because they're trading, they're putting us on it. We only have a 3-card hand, meanwhile, while they have 7-card hand. So they're trying to push their advantage by keeping their board around so it can make more trades. And it makes sense. I don't mind that play at all. I think it was probably pretty good. And we don't know their hand, you know. In this display, I can only show you guys what I'm on. There's no good way to do like an open hand sort of thing. It would have to be like hand cam, and then they'd have to show their hand too. And it's just weird because like I can see things too while I'm playing. And we're definitely just trying to like show game state how it would be, right? Like, cause I don't know what's going on here. I don't know what's in his deck. We see another Battle of Aces come down to remove that. So yeah, they had to use close combat though and Battle of Aces to do it. So yeah, it is what it is. That's the way they had to get rid of it. That's 2 cards down. So that I think I'm fine with that. It's another reason why we went for the 2-4 off the Striker pack. If I went off the 4-2 after already seeing they play close combat, I could have just got cooked there and lost a card for no reason. So we just swing with Sword Strike, played down the Anksha, and then we have 3 left. We can play this Gundam out, and now we have 4 units. We're wide. They don't have a board, and we're presenting lethal. So they have to find a way with no blockers in their deck. They're on red-blue that they can try to deal with my board. And we see the gym come down. We see the Gundam RX-78 from the starter come down. And even with an Amuro, they could only remove 1 of these units. So this is going to be GG's here because we're going to just swing out, start with the 2 attack, and then just close the deal here. Yep. So we'll move on to game 2. All right, guys, so for game 2, since they lost, they get to choose if they want first or second. That's the best way to do it because that's just basic best of 3 rules. So I will be going first this game because they chose second. That's pretty standard in Gundam right now. That's where we're at. They play Jim on turn 1 and moves over to me. I play down my Graz, which is the new level 2 cost 1. That is a 2/2 unit. So 2/2 units are kind of the name of the game right now. We're in a 2/2 unit format. Thanks to green blue, thanks to the speed of that deck, we kind of other decks have to respond by matching that speed. They play a Rezel, we play a Rezel, and pass. So we're sitting on an interesting hand with 2 Sword Strikes, a Kira, a Bounce Base, Striker Pack, and Amuro. So we have some options. They're being the aggressor early, so we don't have any blockers in hand except the Striker Pack, so we kind of have to play this a little funny. And they just use close combat to get rid of a unit. So we only have the Rezel right now to respond. So we draw Liverith for the turn, which is interesting because we could go double blocker here. They only have a 4-card hand. Bouncing things feels bad because we're up on hand support right now. So I could play Sword Strike Kira, remove the Rezel, bounce a gem, and then with the Rezel clear another gem. That's definitely a play. I could also play this base, bounce the Rezel, swing the gem, swing Rezel into the gem, or just clear base. I clear the base, and then I can play Striker Pack to get a blocker here. That's what I choose to do. I had other plays there. I could have easily went Sword Strike Kira, destroy the Rezel. I'll have 2 HP left over thanks to Kira, bounce a gem and then clear the gem, and that would have got rid of the entire board. Probably would have been the better play, to be honest. What I did was kind of greedy. I wanted to see one more card, and I wanted to establish a blocker because I know I can remove one of these gems anyways, and I was able to unfortunately allow him to keep the Rezel in the game longer by bouncing into the hand. Definitely was some limit testing I was doing there, and I don't think it was right. So before you comment what I could have done and stuff like that, I hope you actually have the volume on because I definitely could have done some other things here. And that's what I'm trying to show with these games is like all the lines you could take. Essentially, I still don't know what he's playing in his deck, and I know he plays close combat and pingers and things like that. So I didn't want to just like lose my Sword Strike for nothing. I didn't know I had the Hawk yet that I got off of that base. So that was just one way of dealing with it. And that Rezel will turn sideways eventually too. So eventually they'll have to get rid of it. And I'll have another opportunity to remove it. So, it is what it is. I think I could have played the stronger turn, which would have been that Sword Strike Kira though. So I'm happy I got the opportunity to explain that. And they don't swing smart. And this is where I got punished. They didn't swing, right? Like, because if they swung, it's like I had my own time to deal with this stuff. But now due to this, and then they get the Amuro off of the Rezel swing into shield. So now I just swing the blocker too. Corsica comes out. And I have to start dealing with this somehow. I think the best way to do it is probably Sword Strike Kira, which I did not do, by the way. So I just really think I messed this game up a lot because I should have Sword Strike Kira here and lift the gem, clear the base, and then Hawk the Rezel back to hand. So then that they would have only had the Anksha and the gem to respond to my board, and the Anksha would then have to trade with the rest of Rezel, and the gem could be blocked. I mean, couldn't be blocked because I wouldn't have the Liverith out there then. But it just would have been a better line, I think. And we see Delta Plus come down, and that's a card that's not even on my radar when I'm playing against my opponent, thinking that, you know, what could they be on? That's not one thing I'm thinking of. So he was on some spice. And during Link, that card gets an extra HP, and it also has Repair 1. We know he has the Amuro in hand, so he has a Link unit for it because it's only an Earth Federation trait. So they were able to do a lot here and really control the game from this point, you know, all because of some of the misplays I made on early, and not just pushing my advantage well. I mean, this was a good example to show you of how to mess up a game because my hand wasn't bad. You know, if I make the Kira Sword Strike play, they're really on the back foot. Yeah, they could have had the close combat to remove it and probably do because we've seen close combat already in this game. So, I mean, it's not Or Battle of Aces could have removed me because I already have damage on them. So then I would have lost the unit, and I had nothing else really to play except a Sword Strike and Amuro at that point. So it's debatable, but I do think it was the stronger play. I do think it puts more pressure on my opponent. And like I said, that is what our objective. And I tried to get away and do some greedy things instead of playing to our objective. You know, the play I made was really greedy. Because now he just gets to trade board so favorably and put a little pressure on my shields this turn. And yeah, it's a good turn for them. So at this point, I'm really hoping for Ale. I really want to use the Kira on the Ale, but I'm going to be forced to use it on a Sword Strike, it looks like. I do draw the Ale for turn. So now I can play Ale, use Kira, and use Hawk all this turn to try to get some of this board back. So I can lift the Jigen. I can also play Hawk, attach to Sword Strike, swing into the Delta, which is also probably better. Yeah. So swing into the Delta, yep. Lift that gem, and then, yep. And now this can clear the Anksha, and we'll only have 3 HP left, so we are in Battle of Aces range. Unfortunately, I want to clear the Anksha instead of the Rezel due to it being linked right now. Well, not linked, but paired with Selah, I should say. So it will get repair, unfortunately. And then I end my turn with the blocker up. So if they have Battle of Aces, I get punished, but that was a good turn to at least deal with the board. We're trying to turn the tide here. But if they have linked pairs or anything like that, we're kind of hurting. And Amuro is really bad for us too. They just get to take a good 4 at our shields. We do get the Kira off of it, which is nice. But we'll see if we can take advantage of it. And the Battle of Aces comes down, so I get punished, and that's fine. I mean, I know they're on it. I know they're on close combat from game 1, and I just did not put, once again, I did not push my advantage as well as I should have, and I really messed this game up. So Sword Strike comes down. I attach the Kira to the Sword Strike. We're gonna, you know, get the Rezel. We'll be left with 2 HP after, lift the gem, and that's the scenario here. Now we can also play Amuro and attach it to our pilot, attach it to the launcher strike here, and we can just hit that G again because it's all the same at this point, and leave us with 3 HP out of close combat range. And I just lose. If they have a link, they just win the game. I played the striker pack just because I just knew that this game was over, but because I was trying. In these games, I like my opponent to know like what's in my hand. If I could have played the 1-drop 2, I would have played it out just to show them that like this is what I got, you know. But yeah, that was a good example of game 2 to show you guys like how I messed up, you know. I played that game really poorly. There were stronger turns I could have made. The Sword Strike Kira on curve is one of the strongest plays you can make in the game. And I got greedy and tried to choose a way to conserve it so that when it came into the game that it would live longer and I'd get more value out of it. And that was just playing greedy. And I have a bad habit, especially when I'm doing testing. I try to see how greedy I can get, and I really try to limit test. And it's a bad habit slash okay thing, I guess, because like for me, it lets me know like, yeah, that was too greedy, play the Sword Strike every time. And now I take that knowledge and I move forward with that. So I think as long as when you're trying things like that and can be wrong, as long as you like realize, okay, that's the right play. And you know, of course, always assess any board state depending on what's out there and stuff. However, just know that is the stronger play. Like that is the play. There's a reason it's in there. Just like Gundam Amuro on curve is like the best play in the game right now on level 4. These plays exist for a reason, and you're curving to those things for a reason. And you know, 9 times out of 10, it's probably right. And that game just goes to show you that I got super greedy and got punished for it. So it's a good thing to show, and hope that also helps you guys in your game. So we'll move on to game 3. So we got game 3 here, and let's get into it. We know what we're up against. We lost, so in best of 3 we get to choose now. And I will be going second because dropping a level 1 and then going into Resla as soon as I can is really good. And if I go first, it's not awful with this list because I do try to look for the 2 level 2s cost 1s, and then try to Resla maybe even another level 2 cost 1 on that turn. But we're trying to go second here because we also want to take it away from our opponent. We know that everyone really right now in Gundam wants to go second, and there's merit to not letting people know what you're up against. At this point, it's best of 3, so I could have chosen whatever I think is best for me. But I want to highlight, because most games are Swiss only, that like it's really smart to take second, even if like you're maybe a little better going first. It's good to not let your opponent know, like for example, you're blue-green. So let's get into this. We have Jim on board by this point. We have Rezel on board. We take the EX base, we swing the Jim, and they get an Amuro Ray off that, so that's good to know. And then they have a Jim and a Jigen on board. And we are at level 4 with 3 real resources and 1 EX resource. So we're going to just play down the Sword Strike, attach the Kira, be super aggressive, and lift that Gem. So we're doing the opposite of what we did last game. We are pushing tempo and trying to be as aggressive as we can and make our opponent answer us. So we made the right play. We corrected from game 2. We limit tested, and we learned from it. So good to see. And yep, we get to lose our Gem. We do have the Anksha in hand. We could also lift this with Sword Strike. There's quite a few options here. So, but right now this is a pretty good start for us. What's scary is the 10 card hand on our opponent's side, because we lifted a unit and we also saw them hit a burst out of their shields. So the Anksha ping comes down, and then Battle of Aces. They have gotten a lot of value out of Battle of Aces. Great card, really like that card. We're gonna play the Anksha down and then use our striker pack to use our full 4 resources for the turn, since we used our EX resource the past turn. So our board state's better than theirs, but their hand size is very large. So this is not a game that I want to get stretched out. I know they don't have blockers though, so I know I can try to push here and make them have to respond with shield, or I can wall up and just leave the shield that they play there until I know I can clear, and hope I get there before they get there. Sometimes that's the way these kind of games go, and I'm not seeing Show of Resolve right now, and they have a 9 card hand, so they have a lot of options. We are way ahead on shields though. So right now our opponent is just kind of going through, I assume, what they can do. They have to deal with this Rezel. I do have a blocker on board, so that can make things a little murky. And it's a 2 AP, 4 HP, launcher strike that I have out there, and the Anksha as well. So we see the Anksha just try to trade with the Rezel. I'm going to let it go through unit for unit. And keep my blocker out there because I like having that. And then they could just have another Battle of Aces, which they do, to follow this ping that they just were able to create. That's what's good about the red pinger, is that while it is a level 4 cost 3 and only 2/4 stats, it allows you to ping anywhere, and that is really good. So they hit another burst, Corsica out of life, and then get a card off of that as well. So they just keep plussing on their hand size, and we're gonna have to try to combat that. We played down the Gundam as a vanilla last turn. Our opponent then played the Delta Plus with the Amuro Ray, so we're gonna lose that Gundam. We had another Gundam in hand, so I'm thinking about, when I'm choosing out of my hand, like right now, Sword Strike Gundam or Ale, I'm trying to make sure I have a Link unit in hand, because at this point I am hoping to top deck an Amuro, Akira, a Show of Resolve, something to give the cards in my hand some more value. So, and also Gundam's a good one to play down, and hope works out for me because of the repair. It allows me some wiggle room, if you will, as to them pinging and stuff, because if they can't clear that turn, they get no value out of the ping or close combat or things like that if we are able to clear shield the following turn. So right now I choose to go with Gundam and Sword Strike, play them down as vanillas. I could have Amuro'd the Gundam and removed the Gem and then make them have to deal with me, because then they would have to have like either swing this Delta Plus into it, and then we've taken 1 card essentially because it's 2 to their 3, or we could have attached it to the ale, lifted the gem, and established our blocker 6/5, but we would only have 1 unit on board. So for what I'm trying to do, I know I need 3 swings to win this game right now. I need to clear this base, 1 into this last shield, and then 1 for game. So to me, it made most sense to play down these 2 cards as a vanilla, put them on Amuro Ray, and go from there. I've already seen 1 Amuro on the Delta Plus, so, you know, to me, they've already used their Amuro that I've seen out of the shield area. And we see our opponent just go wide here. That's a good response. And we're about to do the same. We're going to play this ale out. We're going to play the gem out. The only thing I could have done, and I'll talk about it real quick, is I could have attached this Amuro to the ale and lifted the gem here. Because that means next turn I'm threatening lethal, right? The ale will swing for 6, clear the shield, and then Gundam and Sword Strike could potentially win the game as long as they don't have last life base, since neither can clear it. Ideally though, I want to put the Amuro on the Gundam, boost everything to 5, so then that way, even if last life is shield, I get around it. So that was my thinking, and that's why I didn't. And also, I have 6 life right now, so they're going to need a link unit to win, all these swings to go through, me not have bases in life. I play 2 of the lift bases, so I know that's out there. I play striker packs, so it's like I know these cards exist, I know the bases exist, and they would still need a 2-card combo in their 4-card hand. So we're putting them on it. First shield is a striker pack, so we get that 3/3 out there, and we're going to want to block with this right away just in case they have the link. And I assume I blocked this gem right here. Yep, block right here, because we want to just use this. If he pings it and removes it, I don't care. Right now I'm threatening lethal. I win next turn anyways. And also, like, I had the ale strike to block, so like if they had the Amuro Ray, they would have had to have Amuro Ray, is my point. Like, Benazir doesn't get them there. Yeah, I'll remove my ale if I had to block to, you know, save myself and not lose the game if they had a link. But it had to specifically also be Amuro. So that was the thinking, that was the thought process. Totally could have attached the Amuro, but I thought that I wanted to play around last life base. And here I hit another burst, so I would have gotten Amuro anyway, so it would have worked out to put the Amuro on the ale. That's more of a footnote though. That's not something like I can count on. I can count on probably 1 or 2 bursts in my shield area because I was running 14 or 15 in this list. So, and then I get a base, and if I use the base, I lose my last shield, and sometimes that can be worse. In this instance, it's not. I could have just used it and just at least got my last card, but I already threatened game, and there are times where if they can string along 2 hits, that it's a negative, you know, because that last life could be a base. So, and just in case they had a gun cannon Amuro and could have swung in here and then it played like another Gundam Amuro, it would give me the chance for this last life to be a base, to be a striker pack, to be something good instead of me taking it to hand from the base. So I elect not to take the base, and I just know I can win next turn after they have played the gun tank, because there's no way they're getting the 2 strikes in, and I have the Amuro, so yep, that's going to be game. So we had a wall up there to win, and we'll just attach the Amuros now. It makes sense to actually attach to the Gundam and then attach to the gem, play around anything that could come out of life and pop me, and then that way I can swing with the gem first because it will be a 5 attacker, so that I just keep another unit on board. But if it's close combat, I still have enough swings. But this is why I really wanted an Amuro on Gundam. Boosting everything to 5 just plays around all shields. So we get there. Close combat wasn't live, so the gem would have survived thanks to the Amuro anyways. And then we just swing out for a game. So that'll be game. Unfortunately, our contestant did not win the ST-05 brick, Alright guys, so that was the first Challenge Garrett series. I hope you guys enjoyed it. So right now the ST-05 brick is still what we are competing for. If I already have the next person won out of the same people that raffled in to try to be in the contest. So if you guys want to be in the next contest, I'm going to create a pool from the comments below. Just comment, say what can make the series better for me. That would be really good and informative, or even what you would like to see. So just give me you know, your ideas on the content. Let me know what you like to see, what you guys are enjoying, and if you haven't, please like and subscribe. That really helps a lot. And thank you guys for watching. Take care.